Hey guys, welcome back to another Lieutenant Diamond video. Today we are back with some more Kerbal Space Program, and as I'm sure you can already see, I did actually install a couple of mods along with the Making History pack. So yeah, mission builder and play missions. Interesting. Alright, well, we're not going to worry about any of this. We are going to resume our saved game, and I do actually have a plan for today. I want to get something into orbit, and I kind of want to do this preemptively because I do want to eventually build a space station. Now I want to actually build this in the vehicle assembly bay, and yeah, I'm going to start checking all this out. Alright, so we got some pretty interesting stuff to work with, so I will see you after the chat. Okay, so in this time lapse we are building the satellite rocket the satellite that is going to essentially act as a relay. Now, this took me 40 minutes to build. I was kind of getting into the groove of it. I was kind of wanting this to be a perfect rocket. I probably shouldn't have. I also had a bit of troubleshooting errors, unfortunately, because, as I said in the last episode, anytime you do anything with science, things will go wrong, and in this game, things will go boom and explode repeatedly, or flip over and do sweet flips, as my rockets tend to do. So I did want to discuss a little bit about the channel. So I was going to continue Borderlands, however, I keep getting these technical issues and it keeps making me lose footage. So I decided I'm just going to scrap that series for now until I can figure out what's going on, and I might return it to you later. If you guys want to see it, I might return it later. But for now, I'm going to kind of stick to Kerbal Space Program, maybe some Minecraft, maybe some Unturned. Just games that it doesn't really necessarily matter if I lose a bunch of footage for, if I can just re-record it, because a lot of those games have some sort of reset. Sorry about that, I'm getting a little tired. So yeah, right here I'm constructing the actual rocket, and I was going to add monopropellant. I was trying to add, or kind of construct the satellite with it as well, so I was adding some RCS, some monopropellant, some batteries, that kind of stuff, and I did decide actually after the fact, while I was building this, that it would be a relay, because I didn't actually know what kind of satellite I wanted at the time. Now this does have a docking port, so I can dock it to another relay or a ship in case it needs repairs or something. For whatever reason, if I need to dock that, I can. That was included. Now I did decide to add some boosters, as you can kind of see here. I added boosters and they end up looking relatively similar to the original design that I'd kind of scrapped before I started building an actual rocket. Now, I did add those because I wanted not only some cool looking boosters, to be honest, but also because I just need that extra oomph to get it up into the air and running. And I was also toying with the idea of having solid rocket boosters for a while, but that kind of didn't end up working out. They were kind of too weird. The Kraken didn't like it very much, so I appeased our Kraken overlord and decided to not have that in. So, oh, that was a weird sound with my cat getting into my closet. So, yeah, so I did end up having some weird issues with the ship flipping over a bunch, and I'm not sure, the video's kind of laggy on my end, so I'm not exactly sure if you guys are at that part yet, but I was having issues with this thing flipping over, and as it turns out, the center of mass was really low, and that was actually causing the whole thing to be off balance, and every time I tried to do my gravity turn, it would flip over, as you guys have already kind of seen there. So what I ended up doing was I ended up adding some fuel tanks toward the top of the thing, to the top of the craft, and that actually ended up solving my issue. So eventually we did get a working model. Okay, so I pressed the going button there, as you guys can see in the footage. This thing is perfectly capable of actually getting where we need it to, so hopefully we can get it there. So turn on SAS, sometimes just a little bit, just until we get up to 10,000. Alright, and then let's start our gravity turn. This does take a hot second. Alright, so here we go. Just have to bring our ship's got to kind of want to, yeah, like right there. And then we'll cut our thing at around 80,000. We'll cut our engines. Let's go up to 90 just to be safe. Alright, and then we will add a maneuver here to burn prograde until we get a solid orbit. That's pretty okay. Honestly, I'm okay with that one. Alright. Let's try to turn our ship to face target. Alright, and let's speed up until we get to our target. So we'll slow down. We'll start burning at, say, 10 seconds. So we'll start burning right now. It seems like we're getting like lower, but we're not. We are actually staying pretty consistent right now. Alright. So we're burning for about... Cut the engines. Now we should have a periapsis of 87. Alright, you know, I think that is a pretty decent orbit. So we are actually going to... I'm going to face radial out, I think. So we want to get this thing to look up. And then once it does, we will actually release our cargo package here, I guess. Alright, we're going to go back here. I guess, why don't we wait until actually we're back in the light again, too. Alright, so right here is pretty much as good as a place of any to... Actually, no, a little bit more. Just because it's still kind of dark. Okay, right there. Right there will be fine. And we are going to release that. Then how do you switch again? Let me figure out. I forget exactly how you switch to that vehicle because I want to switch to it. Alright, well we will... I'm going to control from here real quick. Why can't I control from there? Now I have a thing. Okay, let me go to tracking station and I'm going to track that specific satellite here. Yeah, alright. I know there's two pieces to it essentially. Let's fly this one and see if this is the right one. Yes, this is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to extend all these solar panels. And just like that. Okay. And where's my... Here. Yeah. Remote guidance unit. So what I'm going to do... Yeah, this is supposed to be a relay, accept. Alright, and then you turn on RCS and keep this facing radial out. Or I guess radial in actually. Alright, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the tracking station to select the carrier, the thing that carried this up here. Which I believe is going to be that one if I fly it. Alright, so now that we have this, what I'm going to do is essentially burn retrograde, right? Yeah. So once I can kind of... Don't want to hit that. I want to be very careful not to hit this. So once I'm safely past the station... Alright, I'm going to start jumping it. And the reason I want to do this is if I press M, this will very quickly start to deorbit this. I'm not sure what just happened there, but I don't like the sound of that. So why don't we watch this deorbit? And this should crash right into the ocean, and then that will be that. And then we'll have successfully put a satellite up into orbit, which is awesome. And that is not all I want to do today. I do also want to... Actually, I'm not sure what I want to do, but... do want to do at some point is probably start working on a satellite, so I might start that today. And there we go. We have successfully deorbited the lander, the pod that took it up. I forget what the official, the technical term for that is. But now we have a relay station. However, it's not the only thing we want. We actually want to go back to this. We want to go back to the vehicle bay. We want to launch another one at some point. However, we're not going to be doing that right now. And the reason we want to be launching another one is so that we can constantly have access to contact with Kerbal, so that we're not struggling to access it. Alright, so I think after this point, I think I might just have to start working on a space station. So I will see you after the chat. Okay, so in this chat, we are now constructing the actual space station, and I did kind of toy around with the idea of basically having it be almost a space base, like what you'd see almost a space colony on like Duna or something like that, but eventually I decided I would just kind of make a standard sort of satellite looking, like a large satellite looking kind of space station that we can just eventually dock some more modules to. And the first couple of modules I kind of want to do are either going to be some sort of storage module, or more likely some sort of extra docking module, something that we can actually dock, like a sort of a core that we can stick onto it and start docking everything else onto. The core that I kind of built here is more of like a command center, like a command module. It's completely self-sufficient, so it should be able to stay up there for indefinitely and be able to be perfectly fine. And but it is eventually going to have some other bits and modules attached to it to make it more versatile, more awesome looking, etc. So this one actually took a lot less time to build, surprisingly enough. Mostly because I wasn't as worried about what I was going to do, and I kind of learned a few things. I kind of remembered a few things from the satellite, or the relay satellites. So this one actually went a lot smoother and a lot cleaner, though I did end up crashing it and blowing it up quite a few times and scrapping a bunch of ideas. So yeah, that was the core. As you can see, it blew up multiple times and has some weird staging and all kinds of crazy stuff. But we did decide to put this into a fairly high orbit of about, I believe it ended up being near 610, which was a lot higher than we kind of shot for. But that is about what we got. Alright, so this should work now. I did add some RCS because if you saw during that last launch, I kind of got stuck and couldn't really turn my ship, and so I'm hoping some RCS will fix that because I was already in space. These wings are doing just about nothing. So hopefully adding some RCS will work and fix the issue. Alright, so let's speed this up and try to get to about 10,000. I'm going to put this station about somewhere between 400,000 and 500,000 is the goal in terms of how high I want this to orbit, like the altitude. 400 to 500,000 kilometers seems like a really nice, almost sweet spot. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. Now I do know when I break these off, these are going to blow something up. However, I haven't been able to figure out what they're blowing up. So it doesn't look like they're blowing up anything important. Okay, so they're not even actually blowing up anything on this. Alright, then that's okay. Then that's perfectly fine, and I don't really care. As long as they aren't damaging the rocket itself, we are fine. So we're going to kind of overshoot a little bit. Alright, mostly so that I can add maneuver, prograde here. Right click that. So that we can now actually start burning like something around here. Try to get these things to line up well. Not necessarily line up perfectly, but I do want them to line up well, you know? That works actually really well. Burning normal and anti-normal and all that. Honestly, I'm liking that. Okay, there we go. So that is definitely helping it stabilize over here. Okay. So now I'm going to go to M. And I'm going to warp here. Slash, I'm actually going to warp all the way up there. And start thrusting, I guess. Start burning. Alright. Down there, about 10 more seconds to burn before this orbit stabilizes. So we already are in orbit. Alright. They have an orbit. Look at that. Oh, wow, that's a bit much for an orbit, actually. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp towards the periapsis. I'm going to go retrograde. This thing turns not very well. I'm essentially going to try to pull this orbit back down on this side. However, I need to be facing retrograde for that. This thing is taking a very long time. Come on. I have noticed it is pulling down that orbit actually very quickly. And now it's going back up. Alright, perfect. So now turn off RCS, and now that's actually a very well circularized orbit. Perfect. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try to stabilize. Go prograde. Turn on RCS. Just kind of stabilize it. Don't want to be spinning anymore. Come on. Come on. Burn retrograde then and see if that'll fix it. No, this is just straight up not wanting to work. Let's deploy the fairing. Alright, I think we did it. Yeah, alright, so we're gonna shoot this off. Alright, it's perfect. So now what we want to do is, I don't think I put a drone core in this. Which was a bit of a dumb mistake on my part. However, it should actually be perfectly fine for now. So I'm going to start deploying everything. So, start deploying all these. Like that. Alright, nice. And we've deployed everything successfully. And now we have a station core, guys. Turn on the lights. Nice. Everything's all active. We have our battery ports here, and everything is on and working. Jeb, Bill, and Bob are now officially the crew of our space station. So, now we have the issue of what do we do with the pod that carried it up here. The horse it rode in on, if you will. And I think I have an idea. I think we want to essentially destroy all this debris manually, because I don't think I can actually pull that down, because I'm pretty sure... Yeah. I forgot to add a core to that. Get rid of the debris. Fly the core. Alright, and let's hope I didn't accidentally destroy the core, because that'd be embarrassing. Nope, I didn't. Alright. Going to rename vessel. Alright. Accept, and perfect. Now we have ourselves a space station, orbiting quite high above Kerbal as well, at about 600,000 and 610,000-ish range, which is not a bad orbit if I do say so. Who knows? Maybe we can start docking something to this soon. That'd be pretty cool. However, I think I actually want to leave it there for today's episode. We did quite a bit, actually. I mean, we have a station now. We have a station and a relay in orbit, which is a huge step up from yesterday's episode of just sort of getting to space and then back. Now that I've kind of got my bearings again, it was a lot easier to kind of get everything into orbit. And we have this crisscross section. This does have some relays, so this will actually act as a relay, which might even cancel out the need for us to have a secondary relay satellite. However, I'm not entirely sure. So data, acquire complete. Alright, perfect. Now there's actually one more thing I realized I have to do still. Let's go back to that relay probe, which I might actually rename because it's called station right now. It's not really a station. No, it's not called station. Okay, perfect. It's just relay satellite Alpha 1, which I might even rename that anyways to Kerbal 1. Just for simplicity's sake, I am going to actually rename this to satellite Kerbal 1. Alright. Accept. And it's time to actually start transmitting. Perfect. So now let's head back to the Space Center then. Thank you guys so much for watching this, the 10-time video. If you guys liked it, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Lieutenant Diamond out.